Article here, saying is top story of the day, and the top story, top event. It's from, I think it's the Baltimore Sun. But anyways, 5 dead in targeted attack at Capitol Gazette and newspaper in Annapolis, police say. This is by Kevin Rector and Nicholas Bogle Burrows, the Baltimore Sun. And it says here, at least 5 people were killed and several others were gravely injured in a shooting Thursday afternoon at the Capitol Gazette in Anne Arundel County, authorities said. The shooter is in custody, police said. Police would not name the suspect, but said he was a Maryland resident in the late 30s and specifically targeted the Capitol. Quote, "This is a targeted attack on the Capitol Gazette," they said, and Arundel County Deputy Police Chief William Cranf. Quote, "This person was prepared today to come in. He was not prepared to shoot people." Okay. So it says, the suspect is Jared W. Ramos, a 30-year-old Laurel man with a long-standing dispute with the Capitol, according to law enforcement sources related to the investigation. On Thursday evening, federal and local law enforcement officials blocked off with crime scene tape the Laurel apartment complex listed as the address for Ramos, whose dispute with the Capitol began in July 2011, when the columnist at the paper covered a crime harassment case against him. In 2012, Ramos brought a defamation suit against the columnist and the paper's former editor and publisher. In 2015, Maryland's second highest court upheld a ruling in favor of the Capitol Gazette and a former reporter who were accused by Ramos of defamation. The police said a shotgun was used in the incident. They said officers did not exchange gunfire with the suspect who was now being interrogated. They said officers recovered smoke grenades used by the suspect in the building located at 888 Bestgate Road. About 170 people were inside at the time of the shooting, police said. The Capitol Gazette is owned by the Baltimore Sun. It says Phil Davis, a Capitol Gazette crime reporter, who was in the building himself at the time. Of the shooting. He said multiple people were shot, others, himself included, hid under the desks. He said there was a lone male gunman. Quote, the gunman shot through the glass door to the office and opened fire on multiple employees. Can't say much more and don't want to declare anyone dead, but it's bad. Davis wrote on Twitter as he waited to be interviewed by police. Quote, "There's nothing more terrifying than hearing multiple people get shot while you're under your desk than hear the gunman reload." It says that in a subsequent interview, Davis said it was like a war zone inside the newspaper's office, a situation that would be hard to describe for a while. Quote, "I'm a police reporter. I write about this stuff, not necessarily to this extent, but shootings and death all the time," he said. "But as much as I'm going to try to articulate how traumatizing it is to be hiding under your desk." Hold on one second. Okay, it says, "But as much as I'm not going to try to articulate how traumatizing it is to be hiding under your desk, you don't know until you're there and you feel helpless." Davis said he and others were still hiding under their desks when the shooter stopped firing. Policemen then arrived and surrounded the shooter, Davis said. Authorities said police responded to the scene within a minute. If they were not there as quickly as they were, it could have been a lot worse. Annapolis Mayor Gavin Buckley said. The attacker mutilated his fingers in an apartment in an attempt to make it harder to identify him, according to law enforcement officials, who is not authorized to discuss the investigation and spoke on condition of autonomy. Cranf said he had no such information. Cranf said police had identified threats to the Capitol made on social media as recently as Thursday, and were trying to identify their source. Officials at Maryland Shock Trauma Center confirmed the hospital was treating at least one victim. County Executive Steve Scholl said others were being treated at Rundell Medical Center. Lauren Farquhar, medical center spokeswoman, said the hospital received two patients, both with minor injuries not from gunfire. One was discharged, the other is expected to be discharged, soon, she said. Agents of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives were on scene in Annapolis to provide support to local law enforcement, and Amanda Hills, a spokeswoman for the federal agency, said. President Trump wrote on Twitter that he had begun briefing on the shooting. Briefed on the shooting. My first thoughts of prayers are with the victims and their families. Thank you to all of the first responders who are currently on the scene. Trump wrote. Josh McCarroll, a photographer of 14 years at the Capitol, I covered induction day at the Naval Academy at sunrise Thursday. He was driving home to celebrate his daughter's birthday when the Capitol editor, Rick Hutzel, called from out of town. He said he heard there had been a shooting, and he couldn't get in touch with anyone in the newsroom. McCarroll said, then you heard sirens, my heart sank, I knew. Police in SWAT gear and with assault rifles cordoned off the area around in newsroom and shut down Bestgate Road. Outside the police station, McCarroll and reporter Chase Cook called and texted their friends and colleagues trying to get answers. James DeButz, an editor at the Capitol Gazette, wrote on Twitter that he was devastated in Parkboro. He said he could not speak about the shooting, but praised the work of his newspaper. Quote, there are no 40-hour weeks, no big paydays, just a passion for telling stories from our community, DeButz wrote. Well, we can keep doing more with less. We can find ways to cover high school sports, breaking news, tax hikes, school budgets, and local entertainment. We are there in times of tragedy, but we do our best to share the stories of those who make our community better. Please understand, we do this to serve our community. End quote. And it says, Governor Larry Hogan on Twitter wrote, absolutely devastated to learn of this tragedy in Annapolis. He said he was in contact with Scholl and the Maryland State Police were on scene assisting county police. House Speaker Michael E. Bush had represented Annapolis since 1987 and said the Capitol is a voice of the community. Even with the shrinking staff, Bush said they knew the pulse of the community and had a lot of influence on what took place. Quote unquote, this is a shocker, Bush said. Quote, over the years, a lot of people become friends. They do their job, you do your job, and you respect them for it. A lot of good writers have come out of there. End quote. The Gazette is not the only business in the building where the shooting occurred. There are 30 tenants in the building, including 5 others in the first floor of the Capitol. They include accountants, lawyers, financial, and medical offices. The newspaper had been in the building since 2015, according to CoStar, a real estate information company. They have 5,000 square feet of offices. Aaron Smith, or Randall Fisher of law office where the 4th floor and the same building of the Gazette at the time of the shooting. They didn't hear or see anything and didn't know anything that was going on until Smith received a text from a colleague saying that there was apparent shooting. He said they flipped a desk over. They flipped the desk over in front of the door of the office and stayed there until SWAT officers arrived. Then they walked out of the building with their hands on their heads like everyone else in the building, Fisher said. Okay, pause there. Bethany Classing, who works on the second floor of the building, said she heard a single gunshot, then heard police yell, "Get down, don't move." Renee Foster, Frost and Associates LLC said a plainclothes officer came over to her fourth floor office suite and told the receptionist to lock the doors because of an active shooter, and she quickly gathered people together. Okay. Some employees began taking off their high heels, preparing to flee the building. Others hid. One employee pulled 2 handguns out of his desk drawer for self-defense, she said. Once more, police arrived. They all began filing out of the office. Foster said she and her employees kept trying to hold hands to comfort each other. They were told by police to keep their hands in the air. Quote, you see it on the news, Foster said. People walking about the building after a mass shooting. And you think, these poor people, you wonder how they feel. Now, I know. And that is that article there on the events of today.